Recently, I stumbled across a website which declared without any equivocation that Calvinism is Satanism. One of the evidence offered up to prove this ridiculous charge was the Satanic pentagram. The pentagram has 5 points on its demonically constructed star, and Calvinism, as you know, has 5 points in its theology. Ergo, the 5 points of Calvinism correspond to the 5 points of the pentagram. Therefore, logically, Calvinism is satanic, the website concluded. Hello, I'm Jerry Johnson, and I welcome you to this edition of Against the World. In fact, the website says this, quote, "Just as Satanism is expressed in the 5 points of the pentagram, or Baphomet, so is Calvinism's doctrine of devils also expressed in the biblical numeric number for death, the 5 points." Following this line of thinking, I had to conclude that I have $5 in my pocket, 5 $1 bills. The $5 correspond to the 5 points of Calvinism. Since Calvinism is satanic, the $5 in my pocket must be satanic. A friend of mine, well, he's no longer a friend of mine, because after I did thorough research into his family, I discovered that he and his wife have 5 children. Each little ghoul his wife birthed obviously represents one of the 5 points of Calvinism. Are you paying attention? Since Calvinism with its 5 points correspond to the pentagram, and as everyone knows the pentagram is satanic, then my former friend's children must be satanic, influenced by some Luciferian conspiracy. Folks, this goes deeper than we all imagine. Last week I noticed that one of my socks had 5 holes in it, and that it appeared to be in the shape of a pentagram. Knowing that pentagram is demonically inspired and that it corresponds to the 5 points of Calvinism, I was left with the terrifying conclusion that my sock was satanic. So do you know what I did? You were going to say that you thought I threw it away. Wrong. If I did that, someone may pull it out of the trash, put it on, and become demonly possessed. Or some poor innocent dog may drag it out to play with it and become a hound of hell. No, I did the responsible thing. I doused it with gasoline and burned that smelly rag. I then realized that the French spelling of John is Jehan, and that it consists of 5 letters, and that the English spelling of Calvin also has 5 letters. So if you combine the French first name and the English last name, you get 5 letters twice. And as we all know, thanks to the purveyor of the website, there are 5 points in the pentagram which correspond to the 5 points of Calvinism. Therefore, the man whose name is attached to this wicked belief system was satanically born, twice a son of hell. However, I then realized that the website I had visited was promoting the unbiblical doctrine known as Arminianism. And then it hit me. Arminianism has 5 articles, which could also be 5 points. These could correspond to the 5 points of Calvinism, which also has 5 points. And as we all know, Calvinism's 5 points are the 5 points of the pentagram. Therefore, I had to logically conclude that, just as Satanism is expressed in the 5 points of the pentagram, or Baphomet, so is Arminianism's doctrine of devils also expressed in the biblical numeric number for death, the 5 points. So my only logical thing I could do was add another point to Calvinism to make it have 6 points. Whew, cleared that hurdle. So now I have tulips, and the S, of course, is representing Sola Scriptura, the Bible alone. Until next week, this is Jerry Johnson standing contra mundum against the world.